Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We will be live right here on the Packers Report, 6:30 p.m. Central. Of 30 minutes of pregame. We'll be live for every single snap of Packers versus Jets tomorrow night. In-depth analysis, play-by-play. It's going to be a ton of fun. These watch parties, you'll see, are the best things that we do here right at Chat Sports. So to make sure you're hanging out with us, you got to subscribe, turn on those notifications so you don't miss it, and send in that RSVP by liking today's video. You are watching the Packers Report. My name is Joey Petersen, and football is back. Kinda. Not really. It's the preseason. Enough to get excited about, enough to talk about right here on the channel. So that is what we are doing today. Jets in Lambeau, 7 p.m. Central Time. That's the kickoff tomorrow. 5-12 record for the Jets last year, while the Green Bay Packers, of course, we know were 11-6. Before we get into what I'm looking for and the things you should be looking out for as Packers fans for tomorrow night's game, I just want to go out and say, don't expect to see the starters or key players get a ton of run against New York. Now, I know Matt LaFleur has already come out and he's already told you the starters are going to play, right? Which is really exciting, and I'm happy that that's the case. But just because they're going to play does not mean they're going to play more than one drive, more than two drives. I would be shocked if we saw Jordan Love out there for more than two drives. Because at this point in the season, there's just no real reason to risk any type of injury, right? And I know that if something, God forbid, happened to any of these guys when they're out there on the preseason, nobody would ever be able to forgive Matt LaFleur. So happy we'll be able to see the starters, but don't expect to see them for long. Who do you got before we get into my 5 things to watch for, Packers or Jets? Claim your allegiance right now in the comment section by giving me a GB or an NYJ. I'm going to give you 5 things to watch for, starting with number 1, the young wide receivers. Of course, I'm talking about the 2 guys you selected in the NFL draft. One in the first round, one in the third round. That's Savion Williams and Matthew Golden. I'm so excited to see what these guys bring. And part of that is because they're 2 very different players, right? Matthew Golden typically played only on the outside, played a very small percentage of his snaps in the slot. But Savion Williams is a much taller receiver, but kind of more of a utility guy. He was in the backfield. He was in the slot. He was in the outside as well. He returned kicks. So 2 very different players with 2 very different unique skill sets, but 2 guys I still think are going to be absolute ballers for Green Bay in the future. For Matthew Golden, it's unfortunate. You probably won't see him for very long. I think he's kind of in the same boat as Jordan Love, maybe not as much, but I wouldn't expect to see Matthew Golden outside of that first quarter. For Savion, I think you're going to see him a little bit more than you see Matthew Golden. And I want multiple splash plays from him, okay? Because so far during training camp, you've heard a lot every now and then, but you've also heard about the injury concerns. You've also heard about him having to leave practice a couple of times, right? And so I think we're sitting here waiting on him to do something that makes us go, wow, which is what he did a lot at TCU, and I want to see that tomorrow against the New York Jets. What say you guys? Let me know in the comment section who scores the first touchdown of the preseason. Let me know your guess right now in the comments. The second thing I'm looking for, let's talk about the quarterback. Can Jordan Love come out hot? Okay? I don't know if you watched any of the preseason over the past couple of days, but Thursday night, last night, the Bengals played against the Eagles. Joe Burrow started for 1 drive. He went 9 for 10 with a touchdown, okay? That's kind of what I'm looking for a guy like Jordan Love. And if you missed it on practice on Tuesday, I believe it was, he had an absolute unbelievable day. I mean, look at this thread of tweets from Andy Herman, all within 2 minutes of each other. Jordan Love, speed option keeper for rushing touchdown. Love just tearing up the defense in the red zone. Love to Savion for a touchdown. Comes back, hits Golden with a touchdown and makes an unreal diving catch. And then holy throw and catch. Tucker Kraft blanketed in coverage. Jordan Love throws it right past the linebackers. Kraft makes an unreal catch. So right now we know he's playing some of his best ball. Jordan Love looks as good as he's ever looked right now during Packers training camp. I want to see that. I want to see him continue that into this preseason game, even if it is just for a drive. Because I wouldn't expect to see him long, but because of that, the fact that you're probably not going to see him long, I want to be excited about what we do see. okay? I want to be excited about what he shows out there on the field and makes me excited to see him this next year in 2025. Because we know that last year, he never really got a full go, in my opinion, with 100% health, okay? He followed up a wonderful season in 2023. Everybody had these monster sky-high expectations. Then he has his MCL sprained in week 1 against the Eagles, groin strain in week 8 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was never himself. And because of that, people tend to think he took a little bit of a step back. I'm not one of those people. Sure, he didn't have as good of a year, but it's not like it was anything unbelievably drastic. And he played 2 less games and also played every other game he played, not at 100%. So Jordan Love, I'm really excited to see him throw the football tonight. If you want to go to that game and look the best you can, go to chatsports.com/Packers t-shirt. You can get this Packers Legend Icon tee for just $26. It was $35. They're giving you $9 off at $26. It's going to be very hard to find any other officially licensed Packers shirt, Nike, for under $30, okay? So take advantage of this deal while it's still here. Go to chatsports.com/Packers t-shirt. I made it super easy for you. I'll put that link in the comments and description of today's video. Let's go over to the defense, okay, for these next 3, I believe. I want to see some cornerbacks making some plays. I need to see some cornerbacks making some plays because right now, we know Nate Hobbs will not be playing because he's out the rest of camp with that knee surgery he had, which kind of seemed like it was out of nowhere. But Nixon, Valentine, Robinson, Melton, Dunn, King, Bullard, Haddon, Jr., all of those guys, they kind of, I don't want to say scare me, but I don't necessarily think that this is the unit that I'm most confident in. I know that for a fact. I want to have a bit more confidence in them, okay? And I think that tomorrow night is a good place to start with that. If I can see them out there against the Jets starters, who maybe will have 1 or 2 drives, but that's Garrett Wilson, guys. He's one of the best wide receivers in the league. He's a top 10, top 15 wide receiver. If I can see them out there against a guy like him and they're holding their own, I'm going to feel really good. And hell, even if it's not their starters, even if it's their second stringers, and they're making plays, that's going to make me feel so much more secure about this group going into 2025 than I currently do right now. Because you lost Jair Alexander. You did not know you were going to lose Jair Alexander, so you didn't address that knee in the draft until the 7th round, which I thought was a massive miss by this general manager, by this entire front office. But hey, it's what happened. Regardless, it's not a position group I feel that great about, so I want them to make me feel better by making some plays tomorrow. Which position group scares you the most? You let me know in the comment section down below. I still think mine's the cornerbacks. Yours might be the offensive line, defensive line. I don't know what it is. You just let me know yours in the comment section down below. What position group doesn't scare me one bit is our linebacker room. And that is part because of Edgerrin Cooper. I'm really excited to see the jump that he makes from year 1 to year 2. They say that the biggest jump you make in your career is from year 2 to year 3, but everything that we've been hearing makes us think that he's going to make a pretty big one from a rookie to his second season. He might be the guy that I'm most excited for. I think it's pretty much tied between him and Matthew Golden, just because every single thing that we've heard out of camp about Edgerrin Cooper has been glowingly positive. And I think that this team needs that. With this 4-3 defense, obviously you got 3 linebackers on the field for the vast majority of the time. Edgerrin Cooper last season, at the end of it, made us believe he's going to be that guy for Green Bay for the next couple of years. Okay? He finished the season so strong. That's a reason why I'm excited. He led all rookies in havoc plays. A havoc play is a tackle for loss, a sack, a pass deflection, an interception, or forced fumble. Led all rookies. Added 20 pounds of muscle in the offseason as well. And a lot of people think because of that added muscle, maybe he's going to get a step slower. One of the things that was so good about him was how athletic, how quick, how fast he was. Guess what? Jeff Heffley says he hasn't even lost a step in athleticism, and everybody out there at Packers training camp is in agreement with him, okay? So I'm really excited to see the jump that Edgerrin Cooper's made from year 1 to year 2. Let's go to the next level of the defense. We went secondary, linebackers. Now we're going to go to the front. Let's talk about the edge rushers. And this pretty much encapsulates everybody, not just Lukas Van Ness, although Lukas Van Ness is a guy I'm really, really excited to see because we know he's going to be the starter now, right? But that entails everybody. Kingsley and Igbari. I'm really excited to see Barryn Sorrell, Brenton Cox Jr. Like, there's a ton of guys that I'm excited to see how they look on the defensive line and if they're able to consistently get pressure on the quarterback. I think the number one question when talking about the edge rushers, will Lukas Van Ness stand out? Because everything we've heard from training camp, pretty much from this offseason, it's got everybody expecting this dude's going to have a breakout season. Justice Mosqueda talked about it after family night and said it's pretty clear that Lukas Van Ness is going to be the starter opposite of Rashawn Gary. He's played in 20 of the 22 defensive snaps before mass subs entered the mix. And so we know that that is a guy who's going to take a new role this year as a starting edge rusher. We also know that sometimes during training camp, he also lined up on the inside. It's going to look a lot different this season will be for Lukas Van Ness. So how does that start tonight in preseason? And number two, how does Barryn Sorrell look? The rookie out of Texas, 4th-round pick. I'm really excited about him. Okay, I was excited about him when they drafted him. I thought for the value you got right there, that might have been their best draft pick of the night. Okay, he ended up his college career, ended it off on a really high note. Had his best season, his last season, got better every single year. And now I think that trajectory is going to continue because he's also going to be surrounded by some pretty good players as well. Let me know. I just gave you a lot of names. Which Packer player are you most excited to watch in the preseason game tomorrow night? You let me know in the comment section down below. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank you so much, everybody who has tuned in. Make sure you got me followed on social media. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram. Also, if you have not yet, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. We do this thing daily right here at the Packers Report. We're also going to be live for the game tomorrow. Remember, 30 minutes of pregame before we actually kick off, so 6:30 Central Time. I'll see y'all then.